Welcome back to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please rate us on all the podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, share wherever else you're listening, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode. We appreciate you coming back. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Leave us a rating on the podcast platforms.
Even if it's a bad one.
Even if it's a bad one. Benny from wherever sent us a bad one. Someone else actually did, I think in the last 2 months, they said we suck.
Okay.
So, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciated it. Any feedback is good feedback. We're not going to listen to it, but we appreciate it. Leave us comments. You can send us an email, contact@drivewaybeerspodcast.com. We read all your emails. I respond to all of them. I don't think Mike's even set up his email account yet. I set it up. I don't think you've connected it to your phone.
It's not. Yeah.
Have you gotten on Discord yet?
I don't even know what it is.
Still haven't done it. Okay. We are on Discord. Go in the show notes. You can see our Discord channel if you want to click on that and join the driveway. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
Join the drive. It sounds stupid. If you want to hang out, if you want to talk to us, that's where to go. I'm not gonna make some gimmick out of it. Although I probably will at some point because someone's gonna tell me that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Crack a beer.
We want to thank Adam Chubbuck with Douglas Realty, TACMD.com, TACMD.com. That's TACMD.com. Look, by now, you know what we think of Adam. In the real estate market, I know everyone thinks that they can do everything themselves now, right? You want to grow a nice lawn. Well, Sunday makes it so you can grow your own lawn. If you want to, you want to fix something in your house, YouTube's got a channel for that. The real estate market will even fool you into thinking that you can be your own realtor. Everyone knows about an app called Redfin. Well, take it from someone who used Redfin years and years ago. I know what Redfin does. If I go on that site and I want to go see a house, I click that I want to go see it. I get to the house, some random agent shows up who's not even from my area. They were from 40 minutes away, and they just opened the door. They didn't give me any insight of the house, no insight in the area, no insight about the schools, no insight about the neighborhood, no insight about the neighbors. Now, I'm not saying all real estate agents know about every single neighbor, but at least they can tell you about the neighborhood, for crying out loud. They can tell you what the school what the school ratings are. They can tell you whether the house has natural gas or whether it's public sewer or well water. They're local agents. They know the area better than anybody. You go on Redfin, you're not getting that. And if you're selling your house, Redfin doesn't have local connections with other agents. A lot of times houses will get sold in good and bad markets because real estate agents that have been in the game for a while, they have contacts. They know buyers who buy without agents. They know or they know buyers or sellers who may be thinking about putting their house up for sale or maybe thinking about moving 2 doors down. That's why real estate agents get paid their 3% commission. Now, generally, what are you talking about? It's 5%. No, half of it goes to the seller's agent, half of it goes to the buyer's agent. Now, you can usually negotiate it down. I don't know what it is currently, but when you go with an experienced real estate agent, you get those benefits. As a buyer, if you're moving into an area you don't know about, a real estate agent from that area can help you immensely as far as schools, neighborhood, safety. They can tell you what neighborhoods are the ones you want to move into. If you're selling your home, I mean, a good example. I sold a condo years ago. Didn't know Adam back then. I just floated the idea and said, hey, I'm thinking about selling this condo. What do you think? She goes, give me 5 minutes. I said, okay. 5 minutes later, call this number. They want to buy it. That was it. Took 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's an experienced real estate agent. Now, I'm not saying Adam's going to sell your home in 5 minutes, but what I'm telling you is you go to Adam, he's got contacts in this industry. His mortgage contacts are better than the random person you're calling. He might have 5 people that call him up and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of property. And you might be the one selling it. When I bought my home here, we bought this house before it went on the market. Why? Because my real estate agent knew the real estate agent put it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Going with a real estate agent is your best decision you will ever make. Are there more costs involved? Sure there are. However, most real estate agents will pay for their own commission by either selling your home faster, because time is money, or for more money. And money is money.
Yeah, money is money.
Money is money. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Money is money. So, look, my point of this is to say, look, this is not something you want to go on your own. It's just not. I'm trying to think how many I have bought and sold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses or 5 properties. I'm not saying because one was a condo, one was a duplex. You know, different types. I'm 45. I bought 5. Every single time I've used a real estate agent because I'm someone who has some kind of an idea about the real estate market. I don't know nearly the amount that Adam knows. And that's why you got to go. I'm telling you, go to tacmd.com. The worst case is you waste 15 minutes of your day. He tells you something you don't want to hear, and you don't do business with the guy. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure if you are seriously considering being in the real estate market as a buyer, seller, investor, whatever it is that you're trying to do, he is going to give you the best information and advice you're going to get. So go to tacmd.com, tacmd.com, and talk to Adam. All right. Now, before you consider moving to Maryland,
don't.
I want to. There's been an issue the last couple of months, and this is the end of March. I've gotten my January, February, and March utility bill. Now, we use Baltimore Gas and Electric as our deliverer. We all know that's a monopoly, but they don't. Their charges are set for the delivery of your electricity, natural gas, whatever it is, because they own the lines, and that's how it gets to your house. But in Maryland, you are allowed to choose who supplies your energy. That means whoever owns the actual energy being sent through the lines or through the pipes, that's a different person. And through the years, I've always been able to select from about 10 to 15 different suppliers of energy, electric and natural gas. And I've always been able to get a cheaper rate than the general BGE rate. Well, the past 2 months, I saw my bill go up. The first month, it was about 15%, and the second month, it was about 25%. Now, part of that is because I believe January was one of the coldest months on record. It was like 31 degrees was the average, which for around here is cold, which means the heater was running. I was using more natural gas because I have a natural gas heater. I think you have electric,
We're
right?
all electric.
Okay.
Yeah. It still went up.
It still went up, though. Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't know why that was happening. Like, it wasn't like I was using a ton more natural gas. It was more, but it wasn't a bunch more, right? Not enough to go up 25%. And then we had a month where we really weren't running it as much, and it still was much higher. So we're talking like my bill would usually run about 200, 220. My bill, the two I'm talking about were 320 and 400. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's almost that. I attribute the 400 one because it was the cold month, but 300 is a 33% increase.
Yeah. Yeah, ours was high too. And in that 400 range. And I keep my house she keeps it at 70. We're up to maybe 68. But my trade-off is I also keep it at 68 in the summertime. So, because I can always put a hoodie on.
Yeah.
If you're cold, put a hoodie on. And you've probably seen the thermostat with the note under it, like, before you touch this, is your, have you put a hoodie on? Have you done, if the answer is no to any of these, don't touch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, ours went up, and we've been like Nazis with the lights. And the boys are terrible. Like, do you need to have it's like they walk into rooms, they just turn lights on, and then they just, well, do the same thing on the way out.
Right. No, our girls are the same way.
Yeah.
Like that, I know when I come out of my bedroom in the morning, that their bathroom light is on. Mm-hmm. And every day it is.
Yeah.
And they didn't flush the toilet. That
What is that?
Like, I can get it. I get it if you pee.
Yeah,
But they're leaving logs in there.
Yeah, if it's yellow, let it mellow.
Right. But if you take a dump, flush the damn toilet.
If it's brown, send it down.
I mean,
But you know,
and by the way, for people that say living with boys is grosser than living with girls, no, fuck that, no.
so the boys, yeah, they do that. Like the middle one, so the Green Valley has half price sushi on Wednesdays. So
I was not aware of that, by the way.
oh yes. So and I screwed up on Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday, and I went back, and it's the dude makes it right there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him.
He used to own Yamato Sushi, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Closed down though.
Yeah. So I talked to him and I'm like, and Yamato Sushi. That's like, because I think like Yamamoto, like the admiral from.
So that was where Lemongrass is now.
Yeah.
Lemongrass too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to be in there.
Okay. And then there was like the Yamato, which was a Japanese battleship in World War II. It's like if you had a German place, you named it like Albert Spears. Anyway.
And then you always think of Clamato.
Yeah.
Which I've heard that stuff's nasty.
Clamato, I love it.
Oh my god,
Dude. No, I love it with
clam and tomato sauce.
Yeah,
or
but
clam and tomato juice.
Yeah, but you add vodka to it, and it's a different thing.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a light Bloody Mary. Anyway, we're way off.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I get the sushi on Tuesday, and it wasn't half price. I picked it up and I realized, crap, it's not Wednesday. But I'm already talking to the guy.
Right.
I don't know if he gets a cut. I'm not sure what their deal is. Like whether he rents the place out or they just pay him to be there and he doesn't care. It doesn't matter what he sells. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll buy it. So I buy it and I come home. Well, yesterday is legit half price sushi day. So I'm going there for a haul. So I'll buy like 3 of like, you know, spicy tuna roll, volcano. Then I'll get something obscure.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I buy it, bring it home. Well, my middle son's in the bathroom when I get home. And the oldest one doesn't like it. My wife doesn't like it. So the little one and I are just crushing sushi. Oh, we got to pull some off for the other kid. So he's in the bathroom. I'm like, what are you doing in there? Right? He's like, oh, I'm fine. I said, okay. Because I was calling his name. I said, hey, there's sushi. There's sushi. And I hear a bunch of commotion. And he comes flying out. I said, now I'm standing right outside the door. Hey, dude, did you flush? Yep. Are you sure? Yep. I said, if I went in there and looked, am I going to see a clear toilet bowl? Let me check to make sure it worked. How about you go do that?
Make sure it worked. Make sure I did it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Like,
and you went in there and the light was on too.
100%. Some these little dudes will go to brush their teeth, and like it's a morning. I have the carpool for the oldest one's school, and I come back and I'm like, is that water running? And I walk upstairs and they brush their teeth and left the sink on.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? So yeah,
I'm feeling my dad's pain from when I was a kid.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not heating the neighborhood.
Right.
So
because the bills were so high, I went and I just kind of did a search. I think I typed in like Maryland BGE bill high just to see. All right, and I found out, and I don't remember exactly when. I believe it was last year. The state legislature and governor signed a bill that, and I'm not exactly sure exactly what it said. So there's 2 possible things that happened. One, they raised the fees on energy suppliers to make it almost untenable for them to sell energy in the state. And 2, I believe they increased the requirement for the type of energy that was being delivered, and it had to be a higher percentage of green energy versus like coal or whatever.
You can't see it. My eyes are rolling. You might be able to hear it.
and for me, this is where regulation can impact you as a buyer or as a consumer. Mm-hmm. Like, this state is not inexpensive to live. Now, I will say this. I mean, income taxes, I think we pay what, like 6% income tax? It's not horrible.
Yeah.
There's a 3. It's not very high. Property taxes are I mean, they were okay when the house values were down.
Oh, those assessments are laughable. So I'm like, you. Sorry, I'm not paying $800,000 to live in this freaking dump. Like,
Well, here's the thing, though. Judging by what the house down the road just sold for, the assessments are probably low.
yeah,
The assessment was probably about $200,000, $250,000 less than what the house just sold for. So I can't really blame them for the assessment. My problem is that the tax rate's too fucking high.
yeah,
I mean, we're talking like I think I'm gonna have to pay like $6,000 in property taxes. My property tax bill used to be like $3,500.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, so now I got to pay more for energy. My property tax bill doubled. I mean, it's not getting less expensive to live here. Am I going to move? No, I can't afford to move in-state
No,
unless I go over the bridge.
yeah. Even then, you're still dealing with, and you're not going to get the rate that you have now. So
No, you're right, and you're right. The energy bill's still going to be what it is.
yeah,
And the property taxes, I mean, they vary by county because our property taxes go through county, not through state. It's getting tougher to live in this state again. Like, it was high before we had the Republican governor. Costs went down,
there's a huge surplus,
and yeah, right. And that's like
which is gone,
Right.
And now that it costs more to register a car.
I don't really understand how this happened. It's like, and now everyone's kind of seeing it, right? Like, we had lower taxes and we had a surplus. And to be honest, I didn't really see the livability factor go down.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't see roads any worse.
no,
I mean, the roads
They're
are
worse
shit
now.
anyway. I mean, right. And like, I don't like, what more am I getting now that I didn't get when my costs were lower?
yeah,
And this is where we talked about Democrat messaging problems, and this is not going to be a political episode, but if you're going to increase the cost to live in a state, you're going to have to show that there's more being given to the people.
yeah. I'll use my in-laws for example. Like when they lived in New York, Long Island, their property taxes were insane. I think they had a house that's smaller than the house that you and I both have.
They probably pay between 10 and 12 grand though.
14.
Oh my God.
And now trash came 3 times a week and a separate recycling day. Like there's a trash truck their teachers got paid a lot of money. A teacher in New York was making over $100,000. They're having a child that has some special ed needs. Like their programs there were a lot better than they are here. There's just a bunch of things that were better. The streets were plowed like not instantly, but pretty quick. It wasn't like the fiasco we had in the last storm in a couple of counties where it just didn't get done. So now is it $14,000 worth it? Like, no. So, but yeah, I don't see any sort of benefit from, and it's not like the previous governor was because every now and then you'll have an administration that was so fiscally irresponsible that you have to come like, all right, we got to fix this and everyone's going to have to eat it. So I get that, but this is just, no, like the green energy thing, that's self-inflicted. Like you chose to do that. Like, don't sit back and cry and make excuses. Like, no, you did that.
And the other thing that does surprise me with the green energy, you want to be greener. You've got a nuclear power plant in the southern part of the state. Mm-hmm. Why not allow that power plant to expand and add a nuclear reactor? And encourage everyone to buy their energy supply from them at a lower rate that is green.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand. And I guess I need someone to let me know why this is better.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it, and I'm paying more for it.
Right. And the thing is, like, there's a coal plant right up the right off the. It's right there, and I think it's in Glen Burnie, just right up the bay.
Yep.
And whenever I drive past there, it's still spewing smoke out the smokestack. So it's not like the green energy stopped that.
Well, that's steam.
Okay, whatever it is, it's still running.
By the way, if people ever drive by a nuclear power plant and they see that white smoke coming out,
Yeah, that's steam. Yeah,
It's not nuclear radiation.
yeah, but that's why nuclear plants are often along rivers, because and the one here is on the Patuxent River. But no, the plant up in Glen Burnie, that is a coal plant.
Yeah.
So
that is spewing something.
yeah, but you know what? Like, it's not spewing less because we have this green energy. And again, this comes to another thing where if you're not for this, they say, well, are you a climate denier? Yeah, kind of. But but well, then you don't care about the future and the animals and the air? No, I don't care what side of the freaking aisle you stand on. You need oxygen and water to live. I don't know how it became a political issue.
Listen, when we were kids, by now the ozone layer was supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
Which that healed itself. Now there is no ozone hole, which is probably leading to the warming of the climate.
Yeah.
Because it is closed up. Because it's not letting out the atmospheric gases.
Yeah. And we were supposed to be underwater by now.
That as well. Yeah. Which people don't realize that when the Earth warms up, it does melt some of the polar ice caps, which then cools the water in the oceans down, which then cools the Earth down, and they refreeze. But no, we don't. Stop bringing facts to the feelings topic. Come on now. Again, and by the way, anything we say is our own opinion, doesn't represent anyone or anything else.
Yeah.
And most of what we say is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can believe our
what you
bullshit, but I don't recommend it.
But like, so you have these solutions to problems that, do they exist or not? And look, I'm all about alternative forms of energy when they're cost efficient and viable, and they're just not.
Well, and never mind, are they environmentally better?
Yeah.
Because it's not just during the lifespan; it's after the lifespan.
Yeah.
So, go
Yeah,
ahead.
those enormous windmills, when they fail, they have to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. They have them out in the water, and like apparently it's like dead whales are washing up on the beach, and it's correlated to the presence of these.
So they put off a sound signature, and apparently it fucks with whales.
Mm-hmm.
Trump said it, and of course, if Trump said it, it can't be true.
Right.
Although it is true, and so these windmills out in the middle of the ocean are literally they're impeding whale migrations.
Yeah.
Or it's driving the whales. It does something to the whale's sense of hearing. Or
I think all those marine mammals, a lot of their communication is done. It's like sonar essentially, and like someone on a boat be like, I don't hear anything. Well, the whales do apparently. Like,
yeah.
So
they can hear. So when the turbine, when the wind thing, when they're the mill, what is the thing that goes around? It's not the turbine. The turbine is the engine inside. Whenever the big things on the outside, when they're spinning around,
thing.
yeah, when they're spinning around the pinwheel, and the turbine's running. Well, I mean, you've got this big metal pole sticking out of the water. The engine noise resonates through the metal into the water.
Yeah.
That's what they hear. And that's what's messing with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So
they navigate, communicate, and do everything by this sonar.
Yes. And so the environmental solution might not be more environmental.
Right. Maybe they think the pole is a lady whale.
Hey.
That's looking for some action.
It's like Teddy humping the blanket.
Yeah. And it comes in. It's coming in hot, and all of a sudden, nope, that's a pole.
You imagine if that noise that they're hearing, the sonar noise that they're hearing, it's like the Al Green song to them. So
let's get it on.
Yeah, it's literally let's get it on to the whales, and the whales go and try to hump the pole.
Yeah,
and the whale's like, that's not a whale.
Right.
Oh, now I'm dead.
Yeah,
it's like a male bee. It gets to screw once and it dies.
Yeah. Except the poor whale didn't even get the screw.
Didn't even get
just ran into a pole.
God. Make whales great again. Make whale sex great again.
But yeah, but when the solution is either costing more money and is showing no result, is it just to support an ideology or to make them feel good? Look, I'm the greenest governor. That idiot went and did the same thing that the idiot in California did. Maryland's going to be all electric by 2035. Okay. So that's 10 years from now.
The fact that, look, we don't live in California. Partially by choice, partially by proximity, right?
It's just really far away.
Really far away. Why? And I don't understand why other states do this, but they follow California's lead on everything.
Yeah.
Why? Are you that inept you can't come up with your own policy?
Yeah.
Or, hey, never mind the fact, like, Maryland is on I-95. Like, I-95 goes straight through the state. Mm-hmm. Are you going to stop every vehicle that has a gas engine from going through your state?
Yeah. Every truck?
Every truck.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense. And
Are you going to buy my 2017 Toyota Sienna? Like, am I going to get, like, are you going to give me the money to replace it? Because then I'm just going to go out of state and buy, an old gas car, and I'll put historic tags on it.
Or you're going to make these shipping companies go buy all of Elon Musk's electric semi-trucks?
Yeah.
Which you hate him anyway.
Right.
You're going to put more money in his pocket?
Damn. It's the meme with the button.
Right.
Hate Elon Musk, virtue signal. Which one do I do?
Right. So, my problem is this. It's like, this guy is not, he's a wealthy dude.
Yeah, and here's the thing with him is that he likes to come across like he grew up in the hood in Baltimore and all this. And so if you read his bio, like he was born in Maryland, but then he spent most of his adult life in New York as an investment banker. He's just like us. He's nothing like you.
Nothing.
Like, here's another stupid law they passed, is that damn bag law. Whoever passed that law never had to carry 10 bags of groceries up to a fourth floor apartment. They never had to do it. Because if you try to do that with stupid paper bags, the handles break, they rip out. I was chasing an avocado down my street one day because the goddamn bag turned over. Plastic bag didn't do that. And then I have to pick up my dog poop, right? What I used to use? Shopping bags. Now I have to buy bags to pick up dog poop. The bags are still there. Mm-hmm. They didn't go anywhere. They just cost more money now. And it's more, I used to use those a plastic shopping bag for a trash can liner in the bathroom, a little trash can. I'd put one in the car. I'd use the carabiners and clip it to the back headrest, so I just throw the trash in there. I'd take my lunch to work in a little plastic trash. They're getting more than one use. Mm-hmm. To recoup the cost of these shopping bags you buy, like they use much more material than the plastic bag. They use much more energy to produce them, and then when they fail, because they're not, it's not made by Louis Vuitton or something. It's it's essentially like
it's made as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, when it fails, you're now putting, like, I think it's like 100 times more material in the landfill than you were if you just had the plastic bag to begin with.
Correct.
It just makes you feel good. All this stuff that's done to make you feel good, doesn't make me feel good. It pisses me off. But all the stuff that they do to make themselves feel good, they never examine the second and third order consequences, ever.
It's always, what can I do to make me look good now, and what can I do to solve the problem?
Yeah. And then for them, when they raise the registration on cars, and then there's another tax they're trying to do, and you as someone who's flipped cars before and traded cars in and done all these things, and me as a, at some point I'm going to have to, goddamn it, go buy a new car. So it used to be that you would trade a car in, the dealership would give you that money stayed out of the tax. It wasn't taxed.
Right. So
now they want to change the law. They want to change that law. So say you take your Equinox in to trade it in, mm-hmm. and they're like, "I will give you $10,000 for it." Okay, cool. They're going to tax you on the $10,000,
which is bullshit, because the reasoning behind it was, if I trade my car in let's say I get 15 grand for my car and I buy a car for 25. The difference is 10, right?
Yeah.
I'm paying tax on the 10 because then the company, the dealership I traded it into is going to sell my car and it's going to get taxed on that.
Yeah.
So essentially you are getting taxed on the entire car. Now keep in mind, I already paid the tax on the car I traded in to begin with.
Yeah.
So the law made sense that you only paid it on the trade value, or on the difference between the price you paid for the new car and the trade-in value you got for the old one. But that wasn't enough money for them.
Yeah.
Now they need more money because this guy took a huge surplus
And blew it.
squandered it.
And now we have a deficit, not a shortfall.
And now he's got to find more money. So where is he going to find more money? He's going to find it in this. He's going to find it in more dollars for the registration of your car.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's making the state really expensive to live in. Never mind the fact we got toll roads in the state.
Yeah.
Like for example, in 95 needed the extra lanes.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't enough. Well, what they did was, rather than just add lanes, they added toll easy pass lanes.
They're hot lanes.
Yes. So, yes, they added lanes, but they also added a revenue stream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you're getting more money from the MVA through fees. You're getting more money on the sale of each car. You're getting more money through tolls on roads that didn't have tolls before. And you're still running a fucking deficit.
Yeah.
You're getting more money through income taxes. You're getting more money in the counties. You're getting more money through property taxes.
And the state gets a cut of that too.
I'm sure they do. And it's like, okay, you're getting all this additional revenue. Teacher pay isn't going up.
No.
Police officer pay not going up.
Firefighters aren't getting paid more.
Not getting paid more.
The guy that drives the state highway truck around doesn't get paid more.
You want to know who's getting paid more? All the admin people.
Yeah.
And look, I'm all for having them, but I'm sorry, you shouldn't be making 200 grand to push paper.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Yeah. Like, it was like, I forgot, it was the school superintendent of Baltimore City makes $450,000. And the argument is, well, these guys are CEOs, essentially, of these organizations, and they could go get a job in the private sector, being a CEO for more money than this.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Go do that.
Yeah.
This is public education.
Yeah, you don't get public education to get rich.
Yeah, it's not like the teachers are getting rich. No, you're getting rich.
Yeah.
You're fucking over. Like it.
Well, the money's not going into the classroom where it belongs.
No.
It's going into these, these things like I'm not speaking against the philosophy or any of what the letters stand for, but like the DEI offices. Now you've added an executive level person making $200 or $300 grand a year.
You probably have at least 5 of them,
right?
To each school district, at minimum 5
staffs, all this other stuff.
That's $1 million. So if each one makes 200 grand, you added 5. That's $1 million.
Yeah.
Let's say I'll say it's less than that though. The top one's making 200.
Yeah.
Everyone else is making 80, 90, 100, whatever.
Let's say the total office of the budget of the office, including salaries, is $1 million, just for sake of argument.
Sure.
Wouldn't that $1 million go? And the DEI is supposed to look out for unrepresented and disadvantaged and all these other again, not arguing the merits or demerits of that. However, wouldn't that money make more sense going into supporting the students and their education, the very students who you supposedly are looking out for? $1 million in special educators, $1 million in different programs like not Fontes de Pinel, screw them.
Science of reading.
Yeah, or I forget the one my kid did where you tap the words out. Wouldn't it make more sense in those services or for speech pathologists or whatever to help these kids than some DEI office?
So this is a great example. So I'm gonna humble brag my kid a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She is in the accelerated math.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, she's a grade ahead of where she should be for math. So this year, she's a 7th grader, but she takes 8th grade math. Mm-hmm. So essentially, they just, instead of creating, and there's 7 of them, rather than creating a class with an in-person teacher for 7 of them, they essentially broke them all up and put them into an 8th grade math class.
Yeah.
Not bad. At least it's an in-person teacher
Yeah.
in a classroom setting. She's in class with some 8th graders, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and they're all math smart kids, so it probably...
Well, no. So she's in a regular 8th grade
Okay.
class. So she's got some miscreants.
Yeah.
Yeah. The riffraff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But next year...
My kid.
No. When I say riffraff, I mean like the kids that are like bouncing off the wall.
Oh,
and
okay,
shit.
yeah.
Not the kids that sit there and just do the work.
Yeah.
No. So next year, she's supposed to take essentially 9th grade math, but she's in the middle school. Mm-hmm. Their solution is to have it be a virtual class that these kids get on a computer for and go to the media center to take.
So that would be like zoomed into the high school class?
So apparently it's a Zoom type class for one teacher to teach these kids virtually. Mm-hmm. And the teacher is in one place and all of these kids are in their school taking this class, but there's no interaction. It's just the teacher doing shit. My thing is this. I feel like rather than having that office, wouldn't it be better served to hire 10 more teachers or 12 more teachers making 70, 80 grand?
Yeah.
So that my kid, you want to encourage kids to do better. Mm-hmm. There's literally kids that made it into the program, but the parents decided that they didn't want their kid in the program because they didn't want them to eventually have to take a virtual class.
Yeah.
So you have parents that are making a decision to not advance their kid academically because you don't want to spend money on the kids.
Right.
And when I say on the kids, I mean pay for a teacher to come and teach a class of 7 to 10 kids.
Yeah.
Because it's too small. Listen, I don't think we should take this away. So I don't want people thinking I'm saying this. We have people getting paid to be one-on-one aides with kids that need special services.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I don't think that should be taken away.
Correct.
But if we're going to cater to the bottom portion of the learning spectrum, why don't we do that for kids on the upper end of the learning spectrum? Yeah. Why? I don't understand that. Like, you have kids that want to excel. They're learning at a faster pace for whatever reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. My kid's a moron when it comes to social interaction. Like, she's not like awkward, but like I have to remind her to say hello.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be like, she's not considered like to be socially awkward. It's not like that because I'm sure like her friends are like that too. It's but anyway, she's not like some genius kid.
Yeah.
I'm not talking Doogie Howser type shit. Mm-hmm. But she likes to do more, I guess, with this. It's like, can't we foster that? Like, give these 7 kids a classroom with a teacher in it rather than doing it over fucking Zoom.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work. We tried that shit for a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So rather than having your 10 admin people at the county office doing some initiative where basically people end up you're paying $1 million or plus for some training that you purchased that people go through and really fast forward through it because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Or it's completely irrelevant.
Right. Where you could have taken that $1 million, hired 11 teachers to teach advanced math in 11 different middle schools.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done that.
Right.
That would have been advancing the students' education.
Isn't that the goal?
Yes.
But and the thing is, like, it's their obsession with data that I think. So, like, and law, the school has to educate all the kids, right? But your daughter, because she's smart, she's good. Don't have to put a whole lot of energy into that. It's because they think because they're required to by law for the aid, and then they're necessary. The aids are needed, but I think their thinking is like, oh, well, if we could keep these kids out of the basement with their scores, that'll make a bigger improvement with our overall numbers. It's just they try to everything's data, and you know it's I think there's the older generation that's kind of running things thinks there's some mystical magic in the tea leaves of data, when it's, let's get back to basics and teach kids. And there absolutely should be someone there. And if they weren't pissing money away on some stupid program, or the deputy assistant director to the assistant pencil sharpener, they'd have it. But then all those jobs up there, that's all their buddies. That's their world. These administrators didn't spend time in a classroom. They're not in the building. Yeah, the principal's there in the building, but like the uppers, they're not in the building.
Yeah.
They don't see it. They don't care. They're not boots on the ground.
And if they ever really wanted to solve any of these problems, they would actually talk to the teachers and the principals and the vice principals.
Yeah.
We had mentioned this when we talked about the government workers. If you want to figure out how to solve problems, go to the people that are interacting with your customers.
Yeah.
And when I say customers, I mean essentially the kids are the customers, and the parents, and these are the people that you're educating them.
Yeah.
You're in the business of education. Talk to the people that are doing the educating, not the people that are creating more problems.
Yeah.
And we don't have that kind of society. I mean, it's not just in education that this is happening. It's like nobody. And the reason why is, and we've said this, there's no business opportunity in the solution.
Yeah.
The business opportunity is creating stuff that doesn't solve the solution.
Yeah.
Because you keep purchasing things thinking you're trying to solve it when the thing you're purchasing doesn't do it.
Yeah. And if you get rid of the issue, if you solve the problem, you no longer have an issue to either cudgel the other side over, or campaign on, or hang your hat on, or hey, homelessness, another one. We keep spending more and more and more money, especially out west, on homelessness. I think it's the LA County Office of Homelessness, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. They have no interest in solving homelessness, because when they do, which they won't, then there's no need for them anymore.
Right.
And then you lose your cushy job being the deputy assistant director of homelessness. So, yeah, it's a real, but it's just, for us on our end though, we're just paying out the nose for it.
Yeah. I mean, it also goes along with, when we talked about the Fontes and Pinnell shit, they were essentially Fontes and Pinnell was a program people were paying for. They were paying for the testing materials, the learning, the learning guidelines, all the stuff.
Yeah.
The people, and I don't want to say all of them, but a lot of the people knew they were buying shit. But there were a lot of people that were buying the system because it was recommended.
Yeah.
It was one of the only things recommended from upper levels. Again, from people who weren't teaching.
Yeah.
And someone would say, well, the teachers just shouldn't have taught it. Like, that doesn't the way it works.
So,
no teacher's going to put their job on the line.
And people who say that, like, they'll say, oh, well, I just wouldn't do that. Okay, homie, tough guy. So your boss comes, you make widgets, and the widget stuff you use somehow goes against your moral compass. Tell your boss you're not going to do it. Oh, I'd lose my job. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't, when it comes to police, I wouldn't enforce that law. Okay. So your boss comes in and says, hey, go out there and hit it. We're going after this one. Oh, I'm not doing that. You're going to go do it.
We're talking about a welder.
Yeah.
Your boss says it's cheaper and more efficient to just do 6 spot welds versus arc welding, or bead welding, or whatever it is.
Like, I think it's bead. Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna do. Well, if you told me that, I'd quit because it's not up to my standards.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you fucking wouldn't.
Yeah.
You would fucking spot weld, and you would go home and bitch about spot welding.
Yeah.
But you would go and you'd collect that paycheck.
And then when the shit comes back broken and you have to fix it, then you'd say, I told you so, and you'd fix it.
And you'd fix it. And you get paid to fix it.
Yeah. You 7 this time.
But, I just don't, one, that's got more to do with people who don't provide a public service hating anyone who provides a public service.
Yeah.
But, two, it's also just, it's unrealistic. Like, we're all out here just trying to make it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, they're getting high on the hog. Yeah, maybe the superintendent is
Yeah, direct your anger. So you need to bring that gun barrel up a couple degrees.
correct.
Because right now you're aiming it at the working stiff teacher. You need to bring that up like 15 degrees and start shooting at the, take it off the principal's heads, because I know a couple of them. They're nice people. Bring that barrel up, and you need to start looking at the administrators and the waste from the top.
But that's a metaphorical gun.
Yes.
This is not advocating real
No,
violence.
no.
Let's make sure people know that.
Yeah. It's
Fucking Looney Tunes out there.
it's a water gun,
Yeah.
like on my emoji.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, every principal I've met, it's like they know the issues, but they are powerless.
Oh, yeah.
Against the administration.
Yeah.
And because they're the easiest to remove, because you got to remember now they're not union reps.
Yeah.
They're not rep by the union. The teachers are. Mm-hmm. Frontline staff are.
Yeah.
Attendant principals, assistant principals. No, they can get moved and fired at will. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's at will, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think they do have an association, but it's not as strong as
Yeah.
the teachers association.
So they can only do so much. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't even aim at principals. Everyone I've talked to, they know what the problems are, mm-hmm. and they've voiced their opinion, but they also know, like, look, if I take it a step further, I'm now in the crosshairs and I'm putting my job at risk. And anyone who says, well, they should, it's the principle of it. No, fuck you. No.
Yeah.
No one's risking their job over this.
Yeah, or their position. Like, I've had people come to me and be like, "This is ridiculous. And why are we doing this?" Like, because you got to do something about it. Look, is this the hill you want me to die on? Because I'll go and fight this issue. Guess what? Now I'm out of here. And who are they going to put here? They're not going to put the guy that's going to make a bunch of noise. They're going to put the yes man here. Mm-hmm. So you have to pick and choose your battles when you're in that sort of role. Because if you don't, then next thing you know, like, I can't look at you like, hey, I fought the issue. Now I'm sacked. I'm off, in charge of the broom closet somewhere. I can't advocate for you at all now. So, and now you've got the yes man who's just going to do what they say and shut up because they don't want to hear about it. Mm-hmm. So, and then you don't want to lose your job, because it's not like I'm sitting on who's like, you should have a 4-year emergency savings plan. Oh, okay.
I forget what the number. What is it like? Almost everyone is
like a $400 expense would throw everything off.
Yeah.
So, but I think the big problem though is like the people who are making these decisions they're guided by something that's not in anyone's interest, but that of their ideology or their own checkbook. And they're out of touch. Wes Moore's never had to register a car or trade an old car in to get a new to him used car. He drives around in a state car, or when he was an investment banker in the company's car service.
Yeah. The funny part is, like, I completely disagree with the Baltimore mayor, Brandon Scott. Mm-hmm. But at least I feel like he's more authentic.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I see that guy, he's a younger dude.
Oh yeah,
he's not spit and polish politician. Mm-hmm. And I think I would, if we were to sit down and talk about his position on all these issues and policies, we would probably disagree on all of them. Mm-hmm. But I like the guy, and I think that's another problem is that people won't sit back. If you disagree with me, I hate you because I have to, but another one who was a big disappointment to me, and this is more of a national figure, is AOC. Mm-hmm. She beat the freaking, what was it? The guy was in there for 16 terms.
Yeah.
And she ran as a socialist, and her story was she was a bartender. She went to Brown or something. I mean, like,
right.
Wasn't like Becky Bartender, working at Hooters last week, and now she's a representative. And she ran as a socialist. I probably disagree with her on everything. But I thought, hey, you know what? At least you're going to come in and you'll be different. Nope. They during Democrat orientation, they got her in line.
Someone had mentioned, they were talking about the differences in politicians, and they were talking about, well, at least they're not the Harvard educated politician. I'm like, if you look at the colleges of the members of Congress and the members of the Senate, a good portion of them are Ivy League.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of how to ask this question without leading you.
Okay.
If you had to guess which college John Fetterman graduated from. Now, John Fetterman's the guy that wears a hoodie, shorts.
Yeah, who I'm actually starting to kind of like.
New Balance,
Yeah.
shoes, everything, all that shit. Where would you think he graduated from?
I don't think he went to one of those big Ivy League schools. Did he go to like Shippensburg or something like that?
You'd be wrong.
Oh, yeah.
He went to Harvard.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He graduated from Harvard.
He sells it well.
He does.
Yeah.
They were talking about him the other day. They basically said if he hadn't have had the stroke, because like if you watch the episode with him on Rogan, it's tough for him to talk. Mm-hmm. Like he has a tough time just formulating a thought and going with it. Right? There's a lot of pauses in it, and it's tough to listen to. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, if you look at his tweets, though, he's much more clear because he's got time to type it out, or someone's typing it for him or whatever. Yeah. They said before the stroke, he probably, with the way he's a centrist that makes sense and is thinking right now, he would probably be the best front runner for the Democratic Party in 4 years. Mm-hmm. Just because people can relate to him.
Yeah.
Now, he does have the trans issue kind of, he's still in that boat, but everything else, he's been fairly moderate.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one, he went down to see Trump in Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. He's willing to at least entertain the conversation, right?
Yeah.
But not, I never would have guessed that he graduated from Harvard. And he did.
Yeah.
But
because he's from York.
Yeah.
And York is kind of like a hard scrabble, post-industrial.
Right.
I went to college there, so like, you know.
What was it? You can't take the York out of the man.
Yeah.
You take the man out of York.
Yeah.
You can't take York out of man. You know? But unfortunately, and we had talked about, the Democrats don't have anyone authentic right now. The closest one may be Pete Buttigieg, but he's also got those wacky ideas.
Yeah,
you know, and
then there's people saying he's really not even gay. Like it was a front. like you wanted that job that bad?
Damn.
I mean, everyone has a price, but
yeah, no, right? So yeah, I wish that in this state, like Hogan did a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And like reducing, what was it? He reduced the taxes on Social Security.
Yeah,
like state income tax on Social Security.
He wanted to push through a thing for so that taxes. So like if you were like public safety pensions weren't taxed.
Taxes on, I almost thought he said taxes on all pensions.
Yeah, maybe exempt,
and I don't think it ended up happening.
No, well, because then there's how are we going to pay for the pencil sharpener deputy assistant director guy?
Yep. Yeah, and the funny during Trump's State of the Union, he talked about no tax. He said, "We want to do no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security,
and overtime."
And yeah, no taxes on overtime.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he is just snaking all of the Democrat talking points. And just, these are mine now.
Yeah.
Screw you people.
Meanwhile, you've got our guy here. It's just like, there's nothing off limits. When I saw the thing with the used cars, with the trade-in, I was like, you know, I bought the car that was bought with money that was taxed. I paid tax on the car to buy it. I paid money to register the car. Now I'm trading the car in. I have to pay tax on the new car, and I have to pay tax on the car I'm getting rid of as income. Like,
and you also have to do a vehicle emissions inspection every year.
Yeah, and anything that involves MVA in a kiosk is a scam. Mm-hmm. Like, how about you just send hey, come pay? Don't even the test is bullshit.
Right. Save me the time. Like, that was the best thing that they could have ever done with, like, traffic tickets. Mm-hmm. Like, with the cameras. Yeah, I hate the cameras, but guess what? At least I don't have to get pulled over, stop for 25 minutes,
Everyone sees you.
and then pay it.
Yeah.
They send me it in the mail. I can send a check. I'm done. Mm-hmm. Right? And no points on my license.
Yeah.
You know what? I can live with that.
Yeah.
Good compromise.
Yeah.
Not this shit. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Or they make it like, hey, if you actually get the test done, it's $14 or whatever the hell it is. Mm-hmm. But if you just don't want to go through it, you can pay $20.
Because remember, after a certain year, they know all the cars are going to pass.
Yeah.
Like, unless someone did like a delete on the car, which is what? Maybe 3% of all the cars in the state. Someone has
tuner.
knowledge enough to do an emissions delete.
Yeah.
Like,
And usually when they're smart enough to do that, they're also smart enough to hack the system so that it passes.
Well, think about it this way. How many years did Volkswagen get away with the diesel fucking emissions?
Oh, yeah.
Because they were fooling, because they knew it didn't have to do the fucking exhaust test. They were doing it through the OBD2 scanner.
Yeah.
And the OBD2 said, fuck you.
Yeah. And people are getting all like, I can't believe they did that. I'm like, where can I pick, like the Dave Chappelle, we're going to pick up one of them Volkswagens.
Right.
I'll buy one.
So after all that happened, they were selling those TDIs. Mm-hmm. But I think they had to have them reprogrammed. But you could take it to a mechanic and he could reprogram it back the way it was.
But the thing is, diesel vehicles in Maryland don't have to get emissions done, so who cares? Like,
Dude,
my buddy had one. He had bought a Passat, like the top end Passat, and because his wife is like, she loves Volkswagen, she loves diesel. He drove that thing from here, made it all the way to the Florida Georgia line on a single tank of fuel.
Yeah.
You know, like they're good. And he's like, I wasn't hypermiling. We had the AC on. I was doing like 80, and it made it all. Those cars are all sitting in the desert because they just took them. So when it happened, Volkswagen contacted him and said, hey, you know, essentially they just swapped it out for the comparable new model. He's like, okay, like, do I have to pay anything? They're like, nope.
They also had a plan where like they would pay you, I think it was like $15,000 for your car. So there was one guy, he got the $15,000 and then went and bought the same car for 10 after everything had happened. So he basically just made $5,000 and got to keep the car. It's like, God, no one thinks this shit through.
Yeah. Again, it's all like they're not thinking about second and third order consequences. And the thing is, eventually all those cars would die. You know, well, some of them. I mean, you see some old diesel. I saw a diesel Fox running around. Like
those old Mercedes diesels last forever.
Now, I hope you're not in a hurry.
No,
because they're not turbocharged.
they're wheezy. They're super wheezy. You step on the gas, you're like, "Are we gonna go?"
Yeah,
and eventually it gets up to speed.
Don't pull out into traffic.
And they clack like hell. It's loud as shit in the car because there's no sound deadening.
There's a dude that lives down at the end of Shore Acres Road that has one. I see him running around. I'm like, look at this guy. And he's probably one of those dudes that lives in the water. Mm-hmm. You know, to me, automotive finance is such a financial trap that people fall into. Like, oh, I want to have this brand new car. Like, and I did when I was young. I get it. We'll put you in this car. We'll keep your payment the same. Yeah, you're going to finance it for 8 years.
I like the idea of a new car, but if I had a choice between a brand new, and not that I could ever afford it, a brand new Lexus LS or a 2008 Lexus LS for $9,000,
yeah,
I would take the 2008, 2009 Lexus all day long. They were beautiful cars and they rode great.
Oh yeah,
and most of them were driven by grandmas.
Yeah.
Or grandpa. Mm-hmm. They weren't driven much.
Yeah.
And you can still pick up one with about 100,000 miles on it for like, I think some dealers are trying to charge like $12,000 for it.
Yeah.
$11,000, $13,000 for it. Mm-hmm. If you were willing to buy it from a private seller, you can get one for under $10,000.
Yeah.
And you could pick up a 460L all-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the best car you ever rode.
It's a Toyota, so it's going to run forever. Like, a buddy of mine just bought a 2017 GX 460. It's a Land Cruiser. Is, you know, that's what it was sold. Everywhere else, it was sold as a Land Cruiser.
Yep.
And it's a freaking. It's going to run forever. One of the new people that moved up on the corner, they have one.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
Look, I think the LX was a Land Cruiser, wasn't it? The GX was the 4Runner. I thought.
So, I want to say it was.
The LX is the bigger one.
Yeah, I'll have to.
I thought that
look.
was the Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
The
Land Cruiser Prado or whatever is what they sold the one as. So,
Well,
but
now they brought. What was the one they brought back? They brought back the Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
As a Toyota. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
well,
It's a dog, dude.
yeah, and it just looks like a regular car.
It looks like it's like a smaller version of a 4Runner.
Yeah.
I think now. It's like, no, that was your big boat.
Yeah,
You bring that shit back, and it better be bigger than the Sequoia.
I wish they bring the Hilux over here.
That's a truck. Right?
Yeah,
Isn't that the Tundra or no? Or
there's
is
a
it smaller than
the Hilux. It's whatever you see like a Revolution somewhere in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
It's what always has like a. It's
got like 8 jihadists in the back.
yeah, or like a they'll have like the big it's not the BMP, whatever the Russian anti-aircraft they just welded into the back of it. They call it a mechanical.
Right.
Like so like, hey, can I get a Hilux? Like, yeah, you want it with or without the Russian machine gun? With.
Yeah, of course. I didn't know there was one without.
That was an option. It's a stupid one.
Would you like heated and cooled seats, AM/FM radio, and the Russian machine gun?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's the SL model.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But yeah,
Go.
those it's the so out of touch, so married to these ideologies, and then we're just the ones that continually get raked over the coals with it financially. You never see any benefit to it. There's never any positive on the other side.
No. It's also, it's also why some southern states are getting more population. Like a lot of people are moving into Tennessee,
North Carolina's booming.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Atlanta already had a pretty big population. And oddly enough, no one's still going to Alabama or Mississippi. Nobody wants to live there.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going to be a trailblazer.
Right. Florida got a big influx too, but Florida's expensive. It's not cheap like people think it is. That's why I think a lot of people started going to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. It is cheaper to live there.
But the key is and the people that are local that have been there for generations, what they don't want to see happen is all these people moving in there from New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts and Maryland, and then voting for the same type of dumbasses that enacted the policies that ruined the states they came from.
Right. It's like, remember why you moved here.
Yeah.
And don't create the same place.
Right. So like, because look at Arizona, and New Mexico, like that used to be in the middle of nowhere, and now it's become California too.
Yeah, Californians went there.
Yeah.
I was surprised though. I think, what was it? Arizona was red this time.
Yeah.
Arizona's fighting to stay red. Mm-hmm. It's been blue, it's been red, it's been blue, it's been red. New Mexico somehow went all blue.
Yeah.
Go figure that one. Nevada was the same way, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. I don't know, man. It is what I wish.
And Utah is weird. That's over there, and it's red.
It's super red.
But it's Mitt Romney red.
Yeah,
it's like
establishment red.
Yeah, it's not. It's let's go drop bombs on Ukraine red.
Warhawk red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neocon red.
Yep. Well, hey, let us know in the comments section if you've seen any changes in your state where it's made cost of living more expensive. Like those examples we gave are pretty concrete examples that we've seen as far as cost of living going up through policy. Let us know in your state if policy that's been passed has raised your cost of living, and is it high enough for you to even think about moving? Moving's not easy though, so let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks to Adam Chubbuck from TACMD. If you are thinking about moving because the cost of living is too high in your area, go to TACMD.com, TACMD.com, because we are less expensive than California and New York. So if we would be a decrease.
Right. Come to Maryland. Not as bad as New Jersey.
Correct.
That's our new slogan.
Yes. Go to TACMD.com, TACMD.com. Talk to Adam Chubbuck. And we'll see you next week.